Let me tell you something most people never see. They see the lights. They hear the cheers. They remember the knockouts. But championships are not built in the spotlight. They are built when no one is watching, in empty gyms, on dark roads before sunrise, in moments where quitting feels easier than continuing. That's where I became a champion. Not because I was always motivated, but because I was disciplined. Let's begin. Okay, here's discipline rule number 1. I showed up even when I didn't feel like it. Motivation is a feeling. Discipline is a decision. There were days my body was tired. Days my legs felt heavy. Days my mind wanted rest. But I didn't ask myself how I felt. I asked myself who I wanted to become. Greatness doesn't care about moods. It responds to consistency. Every time I showed up on a bad day, I built something stronger than confidence. Self-trust. When you know you'll show up no matter what, nothing can shake you. Now, here's discipline rule number 2. I trained harder in private than I performed in public. Anyone can perform once. Few can prepare daily. I ran miles when no cameras were there. I repeated drills until boredom set in. I refined technique long after others stopped. I wanted the fight to feel easier than training. So when the lights came on, my body already knew what to do. Champions don't rise to the occasion. They fall back on preparation. Okay, here's discipline rule number 3. I respected the basics like they were sacred. Footwork, breathing, timing, balance. People chase fancy techniques. I mastered fundamentals because under pressure, you don't rise to complexity. You return to basics. Discipline is doing the simple things perfectly over and over, even when no one applauds. That's how skill becomes instinct. Now here's discipline rule number 4. I controlled my environment before it controlled me. I was careful what I listened to, careful who I spent time with, careful what I allowed into my mind. Your environment shapes your discipline. If you surround yourself with excuses, you'll live like one. I chose focus over noise, routine over chaos, structure over temptation. Protect your environment and discipline becomes easier. Okay, here's discipline rule number 5. I did the uncomfortable work first, running when others slept, training when others relaxed, choosing effort over ease. Discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want now. Comfort weakens. Discomfort sharpens. Every time I leaned into discomfort, I expanded my capacity. That's how you grow without needing motivation. Let me pause here because this matters. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they lack daily structure. Discipline isn't punishment. It's freedom. Freedom from excuses. Freedom from regret. Freedom from wondering what if. Now let's continue. Okay, here's discipline rule number 6. I train my mind as hard as my body. Anyone can punch. Few can stay calm. I practice stillness. I practice focus. I practice self-control. Discipline of the mind means not reacting emotionally, not panicking under pressure, not quitting when things get hard. A disciplined mind keeps the body steady, and a steady fighter wins. Now here's discipline rule number 7. I followed routines, not impulses. Impulses are loud. Routines are quiet. Impulse says, take today off. Routine says, show up anyway. I ate with discipline. I slept with discipline. I trained with discipline. Over time, discipline removed the need for willpower. When your life runs on routine, progress becomes automatic. Okay, here's discipline rule number 8. I stayed consistent even when progress felt invisible. There were times I didn't feel stronger, didn't feel faster, didn't feel improved, but discipline doesn't wait for feedback. Growth happens silently. Like a seed underground, nothing appears until everything changes. If you quit too early, you never see the result. Consistency is faith in action. Now here's discipline rule number 9. I kept my ego out of my training. Ego wants praise. Discipline wants results. I trained to improve, not to impress. I corrected weaknesses instead of hiding them. Ego avoids flaws. Discipline attacks them. That's how I stay sharp. Okay, here's the final discipline rule. Rule number 10. I stayed loyal to the long game. I wasn't chasing quick wins. I was building longevity. Every disciplined choice was a vote for the man I wanted to become years later. Discipline compounds. Small daily actions turn into massive advantages over time. That's how champions are built quietly, long before the world notices. Now let me close with this. Anyone can shine when the crowd is watching. Few can commit when the room is empty. Discipline is what you do when no one is clapping. That's where real champions are forged. I wasn't special. I was consistent. I wasn't always motivated. I was disciplined, and that discipline carried me. From empty gyms to world titles to legacy. Stay disciplined. Stay patient. Stay committed. And when the world finally sees you, they'll call it talent, but you'll know the truth.